I greet you all over the world, wherever you are. I am Pastor Joseph Adebowale Adewale, and I want to welcome you once again to this platform. What I have to share with you today is when certificate becomes your limitation. When certificate becomes your limitation. Let me ask you a question. If it happens today that your certificate got torn into pieces or burnt by fire because something happened and there is no place for court affidavit, what becomes of your life? Or what will happen to your life? Can I hear your answer? You see, certificate becomes your limitation when you place the height you can reach in life on the class or grade on your certificate, or on how much of certificate you can possess. When you think it is by first class or by your second class upper that you will become great, certificate has become your limitation. When you think because you have a third class or a pass, nothing great can ever come out of your life anymore, then certificate has become your limitation. Because you have a second class lower does not mean you are destined to be among the middle class in the society. But that can happen if you allow certificate to become your limitation. You see, education is not about certification, and certification is not the same as education. Education is the real deal. Certificate is just a testimonial that you have the education in that particular field, the field in which you are satisfied. That certification is a testimonial to show that you have gotten the education in that particular field. The grade or class on your certificate only shows how well you have acquired the knowledge offered by that education. Certificate is good, but of greater worth and benefit for the greatness of a life is education. So situations and circumstances of life may happen on your journey to greatness and success in life that the certificate you have may not be able to carry you forward. What then becomes of your journey? Hopelessness, depression, or what? It shouldn't be. Your certificate should not become your limitation in the journey of life. Somebody is watching me and listening to me now. You have a third class and you think your world is over or your life has come to an end. Let me tell you, your world has just begun and your life is just starting. Only if you will not allow your certificate to become your limitation. The primary reason or the main essence of your going to school is not all about the certificate. It is not the certification. It is for you to acquire the education. And education is what makes you discover yourself. When I mean discover yourself, I mean who you are and what you have in you. And education also empowers you to be able to deploy what you have discovered of yourself for your greatness and to make impact in your own world. That is what education will do to you. And then education give you the basic skills and knowledge to effectively make your impact and function in the society. Education develops your natural potentials and potentialities to enable you function in your society and contribute adequately to its advancement according to your abilities and interests. So, you may have first class in a course. Your greatness in life may and may not be attached to pursuing anything further in that course. Because if you are highly intelligent, you can have first class in any course. You may have a third class or ordinary pass in a course. That may be a pointer for you to look inward and discover your untapped potentials. The class of degree you have or the grade on your certificate is not in any way a determinant of your greatness in life, except you allow it to be so. So, wake up, my dear, and stop dulling yourself. What is it that you can do easily that others will have to train very hard to be able to do the same? What is it that really interests you? What are you really passionate about? Do you get that exceptional talent that wow others? I'm asking you. And then let me tell you that your honest answers to those questions may be pointers to what can make you great beyond what your certificate can offer you. Let me tell you something from the life of a biblical character called Moses. The man Moses was educated in all the wisdom of the Egyptians. If you read the book of Acts chapter 7 verse 22, you will see it written there. His passion was in rescuing his sovereign people. Reading about his life, you will see that he has that track record even before he rose up to become the deliverer of Israel. Finally, so when you read the book of Exodus chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4 and forward, you will see more of that about the life of Moses. But at a point in his growth process, circumstance of life happened to Moses that did not allow him to secure an employment or a placement in Egypt. He has acquired all the wisdom of Egypt, well-educated, well-learned fellow. And he grew up in the royal court, in the palace, because he was adopted by the daughter of Pharaoh. And then he has the best of education. But the education he has, in our own thinking nowadays, we suppose that somebody of that caliber of degrees of education, he should be working in the palace. He should be working in the office of the leader of that country. But what happened? Circumstance of life pushed him away from that, and he had to run for his life, and he became a shepherd. Imagine, it was never written that he has ever shepherded any flock before that circumstance happened. But in the process of uh, facing the circumstance that befell him, he just uh, come to a point where he met some people, and he rescued them from uh, some troublers, and that happened in Midian. And the people he rescued from the troublers happened to be daughters of the priest of Midian, who were also shepherdess. They had a female shepherd, and he fetched water for their flocks and all those things. And he made their journey faster, to the point that the father has to say, "Go and bring that person you call the Egyptians." And they brought Moses, and from there he started tending the flock of the animals of that priest of Midian, Jethro. And what happened was that he later ended up marrying um, the daughter of Jethro. And he never knew he has that innate potential to shepherd a flock, because reading the life of Moses as recorded in the Bible, we've never read before that point that he ever shepherded any flock. But circumstance of life placed him in that position. He began to shepherd a flock of animals. He tended, he tended them, as a shepherd will tender a flock. And after a while, he was positioned back to his passion of saving his suffering people. God positioned him back to that passion that he had initially. And do you know what? God further empowered him, and the empowerment was on what was in his hand. And God asked him, "What was in your hand?" He said, "A staff." And God empowered the staff to be a confirmation that he was the one that was sending him on that assignment. So God empowered him, and he empowered what was in his hand for the assignment. And that assignment and passion in him placed him in the record of the all-time greats among men. Now I ask you, what is in your hand? What is in your hand? What can you use your hand to do? That's my question to you now. You see, who are you? So, what are your potentials? And what training do you have to do to be able to properly deploy your inner capacity and potentials? Think about those things and act as appropriate. Be proactive about it. Don't just hear this as one of those things you need to watch. I want to believe that somebody has been touched by this little content, and I want to encourage those of us that are watching that if you have anybody who has made certificate to become his or her limitation because of the grades he has, whether he has first class and he's so much attached to that first class that he think he cannot do any other thing except what that certificate has labeled him to be able to do. Or you have somebody who has a third class, and because she has a third class or he has a third class, he or she is depressed. Let me tell you, there is more to such life than certificate. So such life should be helped with this video, and you can share as much as possible to people you think need it. And I'd like you to kindly subscribe to the YouTube channels if you are watching on YouTube, and then like the content so that more people can have access to it when they see the notification. Once again, I'm Pastor Joseph Adewale Adebowale. I want to thank you for watching. Bye.